I wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you about moving files in Drive. This is something that can be a little bit tricky. One of the things that is the easiest way to do it is if you are wanting to move a file into a folder, and you can see both of those on the same screen, you can drag and drop things into a folder. So this document here needs to go into this green folder. So I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to drag it. Notice how it's highlighting the folder as I move it around. When you get it to the folder that you want it to be on, you simply release it, and it's then moved. And you'll get a little notice on the bottom corner that tells you it's been moved. So a drag and drop is a super simple way to move a file. You can also right-click on a file. So if I wanted to right-click on this file, there's the option to move to, because sometimes you're in a place where you're maybe in a subfolder and you wanted to move it out of that subfolder into another folder, and so you don't see the folder and the file in the same screen. So in that case, a right-click move to is easier. So I'm going to click Move To, and you notice I get a little box that says My Drive, and there's a back button so that if you needed to see all your main folders, your Shared With Me, your My Drive, but it will open in My Drive. That's the default. Notice all the folders that you've created will show up. So if you know which folder it's supposed to go in, you can click the little triangle next to that folder. And once you're inside a folder, you'll notice all of these are grayed out because I can't go any deeper than this folder. There's not a subfolder inside. I can click Move Here. Now, in the event there wasn't a folder to put this document in and I wanted to create the folder, you notice there's also the option to create a new folder. So if you right-click on a file and you choose Move To, you can move it to an existing folder by using the navigation buttons, or you can create a folder in which to put it. Now there is yet another option for moving files, and that's when you have a document open. So I'm going to go ahead and open this document. And after the document fully loads, you will see a folder appear at the top. And it took a little bit of time, but now you see there's that little folder. This is the Move To folder, and if you click on it, first of all, it shows you where it is. So right now this folder is just sitting in My Drive. If it was inside another folder, this wouldn't say My Drive, it would show the name of the folder. But here I can also move a file while the document's open. So if I wanted it to go inside this ASW folder, again, it's just like when we right-clicked, we click on the small triangle and then we click Move Here. And what that means is it's no longer in My Drive, and you'll notice there's a little symbol at the top. It tells exactly what I did, and you can dismiss it if you want the message to go away, or you can click Undo if it was a mistake. And that stays up for a little bit of time so that you can make a change if you need to. So again, back to Drive, we did a drag and drop for a file move, we did a right click, and we also chose to move a file while the document was open. Now, let's talk about the case of having a file in multiple places. One of the things that is fascinating to me about Google Drive is that you can actually put the same file in multiple places without making copies. And that means it's living in one file, but it's got a shortcut inside other files. And sometimes that's helpful because maybe in your organization structure, something does go in multiple folders. If you were looking for it, you wanted to be able to find it. So in the event that you're wanting to add a file to multiple places, you're going to do something called an add, not a move. And the way you do that is you have the file selected. So I'm going to use this presentation file here. And you're going to hold down the Shift key, and then you're going to press Z. So it's Shift Z. You'll notice at the bottom it says Add here, not Move here. So what I want to do is I'm going to add. I want to leave it in My Drive, but I also want to put it into this ASW folder. So notice when I navigate, it doesn't say Move here, it says Add here. And when I click Add, it's not taking it away from here, but it's now in My Drive, and it's also inside this ASW folder. Now that is a great way to be able to put a shortcut to the same file in multiple places. I did not make a copy. I actually just put a shortcut to it in 2 different places. Now what I'll show you is when you click on this presentation and you look at the details, you'll notice that it says that I added an item, but I'm going to go over to the Details tab, and it shows all the places that file is located. And that's all the places this exact file is located. So you can have it in multiple places. And by going to the Information button, you can actually also remove it from those places as well. So that is adding a file to multiple places. And again, that keystroke is select the file, press Shift and Z, and then you'll get the Add Here window instead of the Move Here window. Let's talk about another organizational tool. Sometimes you'll have documents that are shared with you, and we've already talked before about accessing shared materials in the Shared With Me folder, and it shows all the things that have been shared with you. And some of those you have gotten notifications about, and some of them you haven't, depending on how they were shared with you. But a document that's in Shared With Me is not necessarily in my drive. If you want it to show up inside your drive, there are a couple steps that you can take. So I'm going to go to an email that I just got that invited me to view this document, and I'm going to click Open in Docs. So this document was shared with me, and you'll notice right away that I don't have edit rights. I have view only rights. And at the very top, there's a little drive symbol that has a plus sign. This tells me it's not in my drive. If it had been a folder, then it would be already in my drive inside a container. But this says add to drive. So if I want to add this test document to my drive, I click here. And notice it says it's added to my drive, and if I want to put it in a subfolder, I'm going to click Organize, and then maybe I need that to go inside this digital storytelling folder, so I'm going to click inside there, and I'm going to click Move Here, and then it's going to warn me that anybody that has access to that is going to see it. Well, if I know it's a safe place to put it, then I will go ahead and put it there. So that is one way, and now you notice it's not a drive symbol anymore, it's a folder, and when I hover it says move to, because if I wanted to move it, that's one way that I can move it. But again, clicking on it is also going to show me where it is, so that's also a quick way to find where the folder is. Now that was clicking from an email. You can also go to your Shared With Me folder, and you can right click, and if it's not in your drive, instead of it saying move to, it will say add to my drive. And the advantage to doing this is it literally just places it in your folder structure, so you don't have to go with Shared With Me or go back and find the email where a document was sent to you in order to find it. The last thing I want to show you is just a quick little trick. You'll notice that a few of these folders at the top of my drive are color-coded. I love color coding, and there are lots of you out there who use certain colors to represent certain things, so it makes it a little quicker to find, especially when you have lots of folders. So one of the things that you can do after you've created these folders and you've gotten these documents from various places inside them is you can right click on a folder, and you'll notice you have the option to change color. So you can actually choose from a variety of colors, and it will not change the whole box color, it will just change the little icon for the folder. So if I'm looking at this list of folders, it's going to quickly jump out to me that yes, Google Forms 2 is that purple folder. So color coding is one thing that you can use. So hopefully with these tips and tricks, you'll be able to get your drive organized in no time.